Hello, everyone, and welcome to Rad's House of Horror, the one-stop shop for all things horror games, horror movies, and horror movie reviews. Today, we will be doing a Longlegs movie review. We will be reviewing the film, breaking down the pros, the cons that we have about it, just our overall thoughts for the film itself. And at the end, we'll be giving you a recommendation whether or not we think you should watch this film or whether we think you should just, And definitely will try to be as spoiler free as possible. Definitely know this as a disclaimer that this is my opinion, so you may disagree. And feel free to leave your comments below, telling me what you think about the film. Let me know what you like. Let me know what you want to see. Hit a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and without further ado, let's review Longlegs, the movie. Longlegs was directed by Oz Perkins. It's a movie about an FBI agent who's chasing down a serial killer. That's all I'll say about it without giving away too much for you, the viewers. Now, I would say that this film is not as life-changing as they say because they go out there in the promos and they're like, the most frightening film since Silence of the Lambs, which has a little bit overhyped, a little bit not as life-changing as they say for the horror genre. It's a great movie though. Don't be downplaying it like it's not. I do believe it is a great movie. And the thing about it is that it promised us to be actually scary. It's truly terrify us. The original horror movie concept is in this. It's an original horror movie that is away from all these horror movie slashers and all these other types of horror. It's psychological horror. And it can truly frighten you. It can truly frighten you. Literally scare you, even. Depending on how you are with movies. The sounds, the camera work, the wide shots, the sounds coming out of nowhere, the singing or whatever that goes on, the music is intended to mess with your head. It is intended to mess with you. And alongside the performances of Nick Cage and Micah Monroe, the two leading characters, it's just, this movie is definitely a great horror movie and will have contention to be the best movie of 2024 in the horror genre. Nick Cage, we'll start there. Nick Cage's performance as Longlegs is incredible. He killed it. Some of the stuff he goes over the top, but if you know any Nicolas Cage movies, in my humble opinion, he goes over the top in those roles. He looks frightening from his makeup to his costumes, to the design of everything, to the way he walks. And he's in the film the perfect amount. And the way the director does it, Oz Perkins, is that he slowly unveils Longlegs over the course of the film. He doesn't just go bring him in and then he's part of the entire film. He's slowly into this movie and interacting with these characters in the film. And that's the great thing about it. And I believe that Nick deserves an Oscar for this film. I 100% think that he's very, very great in this film. His acting is the best of his career and just incredible. I'm blown away. But also we have Micah Monroe. She was awesome. Her performance was great, but the character was just plain weird. Like, the thing about it is the character's very hidden and we don't know much about her past or know much about her. But also she can has this thing about her that makes her really cryptic. The thing about this film that can only bring it down, though, is the fact that it's a slow burn film. There's a slow burn, so it takes a while to get to the main plot, and then you're like, oh, this is what's going on. But the best thing about that is that they're taking full time to develop these characters, make us known to who these people are, and just bringing out the best. Elements of the film do remind you of movies like Seven and Silence of the Lambs, which they did promise to us. But I don't believe that the film is on the same level. They're up there. It's up there. and they're up there as the most frightening films of all time. It's just, for me, the pacing of Longlegs in particular isn't there to match those films. It doesn't match Hannibal Lecter and Silence of the Lambs. And the characters are a little different in terms of who's the antagonists in these films. But the movie is truly focused on scaring you and freaking you out. It wants you to be like, what? What did I just watch? I watched this film and I was even terrified. And there's a lot of things I've seen, that are in horror movies that are just even scarier than that. Even more freaky than that. But it was freaky. So I would say, ultimately breaking down to the ending here of this, if you're into psychological horror, its replayability is incredible. But I don't believe that there's much other than, like, if you're into those types of horror films. But definitely watch it at least once. I 100% will say that this movie's worth it. Atmosphere is great. The audio cinematography is great. The story and vibe is great. It's just a creepy, messed up, and twisted movie that will mess you up in the best way possible. And if you are a true horror movie fan, I think you will agree and say that if you're twisted and messed up, and you're thinking all these different thoughts about the film, by the end of the film, you're recommending watching it to other people. Great film. I highly recommend you watch it. Subscribe to the channel if you like the content. Give me a comment below. Tell me what you think about the movie Longlegs. And I'll see you in the next one soon.